Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 6. And this week we're going to be thinking about concept mapping. This is not a heavy reading week or a heavy kind of busy work week. This is really a heavy think week, and I'd encourage you to really take advantage of this week and start working to tease out ideas for your dissertation topic. You've got a little bit of a breather this week to just allow your mind to try to work through these ideas. The sooner you start doing this, the easier it's going to be on the back end. So this week we're talking about something called a concept map, or sometimes they call it a think map or concept mapping. There's no magic to this, and there's no one right way to do it. I've given you a couple of videos. They're short videos, 3-4 minutes a piece. The first one gives you, I think the first one's done by a librarian, to help her students try to work through what is this concept map all about and how do you drill down to a research question. The second one I think is also a librarian. The third one is not a well-produced video, but the information is really good. So there's really bad edits in it, and so there's going to be a guy talking, and then they're going to kind of cut to a woman actually doing this in front of like a grade school class, and so it kind of cuts back and forth. But it's only 3 minutes, so I would tough it out and watch it because the information you get from it is really good. I purposely didn't put the real polished videos on this one, because concept mapping is just what you make it. It's just a real visual way to start drilling down your concept and refining your concept. So I'm going to give you an example of something I did when I was doing one of my research projects, just to give you an idea. The concept mapping that most people will talk about now is in the diagram here. You'll see there's a green circle in the middle. That's usually your main concept, and then they've got like sub-concepts on the outside. Any way that you want to do it is good. So don't get hung up on, oh, there's only one right way to do a concept map. This was a concept map, or whatever I call it, a flow chart, because I'm old enough to have remembered actually programming computers and things like COBOL and Fortran. And so this is a comfort for me. So the boxes actually mean something. That center kind of diamond-shaped box is a decision symbol. And so this is something that's comfortable for me. Do whatever you want to do. You want circles, squares, you want to use, whatever shape you want. It's just a graphic representation of your idea. So here's where I'm going to say started, but I actually didn't start here. This model that I ended up finally working with and actually have published recently, this model evolved over a year and a half. So I started one night with, what is that, the flip chart? There's big white pieces of paper and some markers in my living room, and I started writing things out and started drawing connections to them. And then I would put it up on my kitchen cabinets, and then I'd do the next one, and I'd pin that up on my kitchen cabinets. And then the next morning I'd stare at them, and then I'd move them down the hallway. And as I work on research, I actually, years ago, my husband installed a great big whiteboard in our hallway. So the family photos are down, and we have now whiteboards in our hallway, because I'm a visual person and this works for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but I want you to give it a try just in case this is a tool you're going to find helpful. Anyway, let's say I started here, which I didn't, but let's say I did. So you start with this. I want to see how nonprofit board members are making decisions. From this box, I could then fan it out into decision-making theories, rational choice decision-making theory, bounded rationality, or satisficing with Herbert Simon. I could go into Lindblom's incremental decision-making. I ended up with Cohen, March, and Olson 1972 decision-making theory. So those could kind of branch off of here, but I don't have the theories in this one. What I was looking for is, are nonprofit boards in compliance? Are they making decisions that are in compliance with Section 501c3, or are they making decisions that are not in compliance? Let's say we find that they were either in or not in compliance. Then I needed to determine, well, was their compliance inadvertent? In other words, were they making decisions that were correct, but they didn't even know they were making a correct decision, or they made a decision that was not correct, or they deliberately made it. Same thing on the other side. Were they not in compliance because, oops, I didn't know I was breaking a rule, or were they not in compliance deliberately, which led to malice on the other side? So anyway, this was kind of where I started. I then backed it out to, okay, nonprofits really end up starting with the taxpayer. So in this model, the taxpayer is going to pay money, like federal taxes, to the IRS. The IRS is then going to give it to the government, and it's going to provide government services. In this model, I could go the other route and say taxpayers could give money to a nonprofit, which means less revenue goes to the government because you get a tax write-off for government services, but then it ends up resulting in charitable services. So again, this felt to me more like a flow chart than kind of a traditional mind map. It doesn't matter. For me, I don't care. I'm sure there's somebody who like teaches, masters in mind mapping, but that's a technique that we don't need to worry about. All I'm asking you to do this week is to start distilling your concept. Start with a circle or a square or a triangle, it doesn't matter. Get your concept there and then start isolating different themes off of that, and then kind of build from there, and then take that piece of paper and throw it away and start again and just distill it down. I think the second video link that I posted, she starts with this really big topic like a lot of you are starting with right now, and you want to do everything and save the world and world peace and all of that, which is wonderful. Probably not good for a dissertation if you want to get done. And so you can see, I think she was doing climate change or something, and don't worry about the concept. I don't care what your views are on climate change or not, but just get the concept there. But she started with that concept. No. This was the social media one. It was social media, and then she had bullying and a few other things on there. And then when she looked at her map, she started seeing the themes she wanted to go after, and then refined and refined. So that's what I want you to work through this week. I would like you to start your first concept map as soon as possible. Just draw something out and then let it sit. Let your subconscious work on it. Then come back to it the next day. Refine it. Let it sit. Honestly, this particular model that I developed took, I don't know, months, years. I don't know how long I worked on it. At least months. To get to where, oh, you know what I don't have, and I need to add it. You know what, I have all of this and I don't need it, so I'm going to cut it. Obviously, we only have 7 days to do this, and we have a holiday this weekend, Holy Week, so we're only going to be able to get so much done. But what I would really like to encourage you to do is draw. Just start drawing your ideas. And those of you who are not visual and don't like to draw, just tough it out and bear with me, because you might find something you actually like out of this. But I would really like to challenge you to draw a new model every single day until you get to the end of the week. And that's all the assignment is this week, is I want you to create a concept map. And you can either do it on the computer like I did. You can do it with different shapes or whatever. If you find that, you drew one and it's, hanging on your kitchen cabinets like mine were, all, in, what is it, on big white paper with markers, that's perfectly fine as well. Take a picture of it, upload the picture. You don't have to, there's software you could do this with. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm finding as I'm talking with you guys in our Zoom sessions is that a lot of this is still a cloud of thought. And this is a technique. Don't worry about, the actual technique of a mind mapping, but this visual technique will help distill it down. So I want you to give this a try. And I would challenge you to do 5 different renditions of this, one a day for 5 days, and see how far you can get with this. The more that you do the work now when you have time, because this is your only assignment this week. I'm not asking you to read anything. Well, work towards your, critical assignment, but I'm not asking you to do much other than think, is to spend this time pondering your concepts, your linkages, your theories. So anyway, what I want you to do is create this concept map of the research you might be interested in for your dissertation. Those of you who are still developing a topic, this is your week to think about it. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do it someday, this is your someday. So work on it this week because I'm not giving you anything else to work on. The concept map should show your central idea and then your supporting concepts and possible theories that are going to drive your research. So is this a decision-making theory? Is this a motivational theory? Is this, what kind of theories are going to play into that? So that's what I really want this week. And then the purpose of the assignment, as I've been saying, is to begin distilling down those general ideas, those clouds of thought that a lot of you are working through, which is what you're supposed to be at right now, into these real more bite-sized components that you could develop a solid research question off of. All right, also this week, spend your time every day on the concept map, but also keep working towards your week 7 assignment, your critical assignment. So remember that you needed to locate an article in your area of interest, either a phenomenological study or an ethnographic, grounded theory, case study, any of those, and start working through that particular study. If you're finding you're having trouble answering these questions, is there an abstract, it doesn't have to be a great study. You can answer these questions in the negative, but if you want to have a better model, go ahead and switch. It doesn't matter. If you need help, let me know. So again, you're looking at the introduction of the study. You're looking at the lit review they did. You're going to look at the research design and methodology that they chose. This is the section I really would like you, I want it all because, that's me, but I would like you to really focus on this research design and methodology section. So what type of study was conducted? Qualitative, quantitative, or a combination of both? Ideally, you've got a qual for this class. What study design was used, and so we're assuming that it's qualitative or maybe a mixture. And then what design did they use? Was it grounded theory, phenomenology, ethnography, or a case study? And then I want you to focus on the method. Remember, the method gets data from wherever it is to me, the researcher. So if I want somebody's weight, the method is going to be the scale. If I want somebody's blood alcohol content, the method is, I don't know if you could do urine test for that, but blood test, the blowy thing that you blow into. I'm good at this. Blowy thing. You'll use better terms than I use, hopefully. Or it could be a survey, or it could be an interview. It could be observations. It could be whatever the method is, how the data gets from wherever it is to me, the researcher. Then how was the sample chosen? And how was the data collected? So we know that the tool, let's say, was a survey, or we know the tool was a blood test. So for example, if the method I'm using is a water quality test, I want to test this water to see if whatever I just did reduced the number of pollutants in it. So the method I'm using is the water test. Now, how I collected that is going to be a lot of detail, or should be a lot of detail. All right, I need to get 1 vial of X amount of water. It cannot be within 48 hours of a rainfall greater than whatever it is. It has to be from this point in the stream. It has to be capped and put into a cooler that, like an ice chest, that, where the temperature is between this and this, and has to be to a lab within 45 minutes. whatever that is. But the how the data was collected, the method is what we used, and then the how is really the significant part of this. If I'm doing an interview, how did I conduct the interview, or how am I planning to conduct the interview? Does the research seem reliable, valid, and generalizable? And again, last week's lecture was quite long, so hopefully you're getting a lot of this information from last week. If you didn't listen to last week, go back and do that. And you may want to go back anyway. Do you see any potential ethical issues that, and were they adequately addressed? Research and conclusions, are the research presented clearly? Were they using tables or graphs? And just describe all of that. And then did they have references that were clearly cited? Hopefully if you're using a journal, there was some peer review process, we hope, and that was all taken care of. And did they have a conclusion? Did they, close this up? Maybe they gave additional research they might do afterwards, but did they end that somehow? Okay, so that should prepare you for next week. Be working on this, but again, I'd like you to really force yourself to be drawing every day on the concept map. This week, last week I think we did Mondays. This week we're going to do a Zoom session on Wednesday, just in case some nights are better than others. We're going to do it in the evening again, so that would be Wednesday night at 6:30, and we're going to use Zoom. It seemed to work really well last week, so hopefully everybody was happy with that who was on. If you don't have a question, but you just want to listen to others, you're welcome to do so. And again, if you come on and you've just got a quick question and you need to take off to a PTA meeting or whatever meetings you guys go to, that's fine. Just let me know, can I kind of jump in first? Or if you want to stick around, that's fine too. So just come and go as you please. The only thing is that I'm usually I'll be on at 6:30. If by 6:40, 6:45 nobody's there, I'm probably going to log off. So if you think you're going to come in late, and you really want to be in a session, you may want to make sure that somebody else is there, or just let me know you're going to come late, so I'll know to kind of hang on. Remember, just click the link down below. And then if you've got a smartphone or a tablet you want to use, just be sure you download the free app beforehand. The only thing I ask is that when you do enter the room, if you could just put your microphone on mute. That just cuts down a little bit on the background noise as we're kind of moving through. And then when you're ready to talk, just put it on. All right, that's all I've got this week. And so actually this worked out really well because it is a little bit of a lighter week, and it is Holy Week for those of you who celebrate that. And then Sunday, everything is due because of it being the holiday, being Easter. Those of you who are going to be celebrating or in church or whatever you're going to do on Easter, if you need an extra day for this, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know what you need. And again, Wednesday we will meet together. And in the meantime, have a wonderful Holy Week and many blessings for this wonderful week.